trust, implicit trust, self-reconciliation. To me, that's one of the goals is to be able to trust myself in every area of my life implicitly, to where I can trust myself wholeheartedly to know that I will carry through no matter what it is, according to me, according to what I want to do. Doesn't matter what the rest of the world wants me to do or says I should do or even wants me to do. But to be able to trust myself implicitly. Implicit trust with myself. Because at the basic of it, at the fundamentals or the essentials, trust to me is the gatekeeper of life and death, of relationships, and a gauge to faith. And when I say faith, I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about faith. The ability to move forward anyway when you see absolutely no possible reason of being able to accomplish what you're setting out to do. Not even a single step, but you step anyway. That faith, that's what I'm talking about. And the trust, what's trust do? It governs the growth of developing relationship quality of love's attributes. So trust. And so far, what I believe, and I honestly believe this wholeheartedly, self-trust and self-reconciliation go hand in hand. If I look at most of my life, I've never really trusted myself about nothing. I never even knew what faith was. I never even knew what discipline was. Why? Because I had different definitions dinging around in my head. That goes into a whole new theory of being taught how to think and told what to think. Huge difference. Huge. But anyways, besides getting into the gloom and doom of the human psyche, the self-trust. I think the more a person, and when I say a person, I mean a man. I can speak for men. I'll speak for all men on earth as a whole. But no, seriously, anyone really, any human being, to keep up with the reconciliation. Because in reality, see, out there in the world with other people and stuff, we can just do forgiveness only. See, because forgiveness only means you don't have to reestablish a friendship or relationship or whatever. You can cut them loose and find a way to not want revenge or wish any ill will on them or anything like that. You can find a way to do that. That's what true forgiveness is. That's the true, healthy, proper way of the human psyche. Okay, now having said that, we can't do that with ourselves, I don't think. I really don't think we can. I think we have to move forgiveness into reconciliation. Matter of fact, I think we need to love ourselves enough to where no matter what we do, how we do, or however we let ourselves down, we need to be able to move it into reconciliation somehow. That means to bring a relationship with ourselves back to as good as it was, or even better. That's reconciliation. Or even to bring it into something that's completely unknown and better. That's even best. So far from what I've seen and I know, and especially in these past few years, these past 4 and 5 and 6 years, the more I make it up to myself about things that I never tried or even attempted, that I wanted to do and should have did and ought to did, according to me, according to my own standards, not the world standards or anyone else's, but according to me, deep down, what I knew I should have done and didn't do. These past few years and several years, half a dozen years or so, these past 6 years have been dotted with places where I've made it up to myself, where I've made it right with myself. And each time I do that, it's almost like there's a me of the past that comes. It's like whatever the item was, it's like that age of me is still there, stuck in time, in the past, stuck there, alive, waiting for me to come back and get them. And each time I do that, it's almost like there's a me that greets me and just can't thank me enough for coming back and getting me and saving me and bringing me back to me. I know that's a lot of me, right? But I think you know what I'm talking about by now. Or maybe you don't. So, making it up to oneself, I think that's where a person really, 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 really finds some serious peace and serenity, the true kind, not synthetic, because it's found from within. It's found from your own heart. It's found from your own mind. It's found and created, and maybe not even created. It's just unveiled. It's always there. It's just unveiled. It's just It's just like you're taking the cover off of it. It's always been there the whole time. You just couldn't see it. Been with you the whole damn time. You know what? Oh, there it is. It's right under here. Let's look at this one thing. This is what I like to call spiritual maladies. This is kind of like a checklist. Where I look, kind of. This is my own notes, so take it with a grain of salt. These are spiritual maladies. These are, things that you can't really place a finger on, but something's going on. Let's run through these. Okay, spiritual malady number 1, a deep down notion that something is off with life. Spiritual malady number 2, lack of fulfillment despite successes or material wealth. Spiritual malady number 3, minimal sense of direction, unaware the human need to have purpose and mission. Spiritual malady number 4, an overcast of unworthiness due to an inability to live up to one's own expectations. Spiritual malady number 5, a lack of motivation not related to any specific action that is tied to a deeper sense of shame and guilt. Spiritual malady number 6, the vague feeling of disconnection and loneliness even though surrounded by others. Spiritual malady number 7, a difficulty being in the moment coupled with an unrealistic or irrational desire for the future to hurry up and get here as if time fixes everything. Spiritual malady number 8, not comprehending that things only get better when the person gets better first and foremost. Spiritual malady number 9, accepting unacceptable behaviors that have known liabilities that deteriorate physical, mental, and emotional health. Spiritual malady number 10, lack of decision to accept guidance or coaching in spite of ample amounts of reason to do so. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. all those things going on. It was a few years back when all of that came crashing down, and I realized my life was so bad and so jammed up with that loathing, self-loathing, just couldn't motivate anymore. Resentments, delusional, thinking my life was all messed up because of all the unjust things done to me, or all the injustice in the world. And quite a bit of that was just delusional, just in my head, just because my emotions were detached so bad from my brain, mainly through drugs and alcohol, but also through my improper use of my intellect via not reconciling with myself, having too many things that I never reconciled myself with, reconciling myself to me, too many broken relationships never put in proper context. And I think that varies from person to person. Some people can go way, way out there, because I did. Anyways, my call to action tonight, or today, or whatever, morning, whatever time it is you're watching this video, call to action. It's like, do you got any spiritual maladies going on? Do you got any of those symptoms, that just a deep down notion that just something is off with life? Like everything. If you think about those 10 items, those spiritual maladies, those are more common than what a person thinks. Those are way more common than what most people think. Because most people don't, they go numb. Or they do whatever to make it not visible. Workaholic mentality. Most people cover it up with drugs and alcohol. That seems like the most common things. Cigarettes, just whatever. It's all craziness. It's almost like we're the only species on this planet that will actually self-sabotage. We literally self-sabotage. I'm sure it happens in the animal kingdom and everything like that, frequently or rarely, in rare occasions, but not with humans, not with people. No, we do that pretty consistently. And there's a couple theories to that. Theories that we're finally hitting the top of human evolution, where we're transcending from being human animals to truly being human beings. That's what I honestly believe. I honestly believe what it says in Revelations. Without going into the Bible and all that shit, don't freak out. I'm not going to get any religious shit on you or whatever. I don't do none of that. I don't promote none of that none whatsoever. Although I do believe there's some truth in that going on in that Bible. Anyways, it talks about in the end times of the cycle of man, the human species, the world will beat its weapons into plowshares, and the world will know war no more. See, to me, that tells me we will evolve. Some people say the Bible was written by aliens and stuff like that, and we've been cultivated by aliens or whatever. I don't know about all that. I actually believe most of it's probably true, but I also believe there is a spirit of the universe. the creator of everything. But I honestly believe with ChatGPT and everything that's came out so far that they've revealed to us in the public, you know, with the AI machines and stuff. I love how they act like it's all new. But anyways, all that stuff, it's like we're going to get better and better at being human beings. We're going to get better and better at dealing with the human psyche and emotions. We'll get healthier psychologically, quickly. And I can see how we could come to a point where there is no war no more. Because the way wars happen, same way fights happen, same way arguments happen. It's the same thing, the same thing. It's getting trapped in ego is what it is. If you want to just to oversimplify it, so to speak. That's all it is. And yes, that's all it is. It's all about who's being right and who wants what and who thinks they need what. It's an animalistic thing to dominate each other like that. However, do I think that all violence needs to be erased from human beings? No, absolutely not. I think healthy sparring is good for people. Matter of fact, I know it is. And of course, we're a couple of minutes over the 15-minute mark. So, anyways, call to action. Ask yourself. Honestly, ask yourself. Do you have any kind of deep down notion that there's anything off, that something's off with life? Anyways, have a good one. See you in the funny papers.